Welcome back to the Investing on a 9 to 5 YouTube channel. It is your boy, the Dividend Dog. Happy New Year to you guys out there. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button on all of our previous videos. And all of you new subscribers out there, do not forget to hit that like and smash that subscribe button. Turn your notifications on too, because we don't want you guys to miss out on any future content. So, on tonight's video, we are going to talk about American Tower. Tower REIT, AMT is the ticker symbol for it, and they are a master lease agreement that is needed by at&t, T-Mobile, Verizon, and for all type of other communications. So let's dive in and talk about them. So American Tower is one of the largest global REITs. They independently own and operate over 220,000 cell towers throughout the U.S., Asia, Latin America, Europe, and Africa. They also own some data centers as well. Their strong tenant profile is mainly provided, by the mobile providers, T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T. So what they do is they pay rent to basically have storage up in their cell phone towers, so you and I can have basically cell phone coverage. So as you guys can see, T-Mobile and all of our cell phone providers take our revenue that we pay them and pay their rent, just like we pay our mortgage or pay our rent or pay any other debt that we, or not any debt, but any bill that we may have monthly. They also have it coming through internationally for tenants as well. And as you can see, they have global tenant growth for the next 5 years and so on. And with the mobile data traffic growing like crazy, guys, that means like we are needing more and more, or we're having more and more data traffic flowing through the towers year over year. So looking at their last close on December 30th, they closed at 211.86, down 27.23% on year to date, or basically last year. They have a volume of 1.4 million, 98.64 billion market cap. They have a dividend yield 2.95, which I like. They have a FFO of 12.07. Last earnings report was 10/27/22. They had a killer earnings, beat revenue, earnings per share, and FFO. And guys, as we know, those are good things that we look at when we're looking at analyzing REITs to know if they are good to generate revenue, and obviously generating revenue and being able to have a solid balance sheet, be able to pay the dividend and grow it. So moving on to the next one here. This is just a clip from the JP Morgan senior analyst. He's basically saying, the next thing is, 5G will be needed for basically all types of automation in the factory, any type of wireless for 5G networks all over campuses, over regions, meaning like any rural areas, 5G you'll be able to have, faster internet speeds, and basically in like those dead zones that we continue to have in different spots all over the world. So as we move towards 5G, guys, a lot of the 3Gs, 3G is supposed to be shutting down here in 2022, or 2G shut down in 2022. 3G is the same way. They're supposed to shut it down here in 2022, and then 4G, they're looking at it maybe 2028. 2030, they're going to shut that down, and 5G by that time, guys, will be in full force. So here's another, aspect of what the global enterprise, senior analyst from Chase was basically analyzing and talking about. So like as far as like healthcare, manufacturing, and energy, these three sectors will be heavily helped with 5G connections. So, monitoring tools for patients. So the faster connections, we'll be able to get instant results. Manufacturing, the AR technology for robotics, all the autonomous stuff, all the 5G communications, all those parts and pieces will need to be communicating within the plants or wherever they're at. Energy, being able to talk to the wind farms and the solar technology. All of that 5G connections will be needed. And then moving into the vehicles, everything as far as, with all the cars learning, to drive themselves and knowing where they're at, compared to where the other cars are at, and with the lights and pedestrians, 5G connectivity will be needed, to make sure all of this stuff, is working, such as VR, HD videos, and all types of, cloud, and car settings that is needed in the cars as well. So breaking down the the ownership of American Tower. So we're going to dive into, American Tower now, just giving you guys a little quick history on 5G, and basically like what is to come. So American Tower, they basically just own the structure of these towers that you guys see if you follow in my laser pointer here, the red dot on the screen. So they just own just this part here of the tower, right? So the tenant, such as, Verizon, AT&T, or whoever may need this, will are responsible for all of the upkeep of this. So as you guys, see here, owned by tenants and tenant equipment. So basically, all of the expenses are put onto the tenant. The tenant. And these tower structures, they can support up to 4 or 5, tenants at one time. As you guys can see, one tenant, it only has one setup there, and all the way down to 3 tenants. So you may be wondering how maybe the towers and data centers and all of this comes in integrated. So once our device, goes in and makes a call, it gets signaled in through a tower, gets processed back through a base station, goes through a mobile core, another data center, another tower, and goes out to another portion of the call on the back end. So this is basically how transactions of a phone call would work, which is pretty cool to see, this on, basically laid out for us. Next is just a example of a data center and what they look like. So all of our cloud, all of our music, companies like Apple, even our cell phone providers, they once again, they pay for their information to be put here because it's secured, and they're specialized at storing, data. So this is another way, 5G and the data centers and the towers help with, watching, Netflix. Once again, it goes through a tower, backs down to some metro fiber networks, and then it goes through a data center, and it goes to Netflix, cloud data center, and back and through back to your phone. So once again, 5G will help speed up the process of, this type of, information going back. So we're going to go a little bit deeper into AMT's, financial report. So we're going to look at their revenue growth and their earnings per share growth. And as you guys can see, they have been growing the revenue every single year. And then obviously they've grown it, all the way up to their earnings per share has been growing all the way through 2021. And they've obviously beat the reports this year. And this number is going to be even higher compared to 2021 as well, 2022's number. So those are good signs there. Full disclosure, I don't own any shares in this company. I'm just putting out the video just because I think it's very cool to talk about this sector, 5G and communications, and knowing, just different sectors that you, can put your money in and make it work for you. Funds from operations, once again, is increased as well. 2019 and all the way up to, Q4 of 2022, basically now. The dividend growth has increased. Basically, that's a growth of 54.7%. And, targeted this year, it's supposed to increase 9.67%, which is phenomenal. Free cash flow is increasing as well, which is good signs. Now, what I like about AMT, over maybe buying more of my phone company like AT&T and Verizon, is that it's outperformed AT&T and Verizon, over looks like a 10-year period here that we got off of Seeking Alpha. And this is total returns, meaning capital gains and dividends being reinvested. So you got AMT at 65.87. And then you got AT&T at 18 and Verizon's at negative 5.59. Even though Verizon, who's been purchasing it lately, ownership percentage for institutional is basically 90%. There's been more buyers over the last 12 months with 1283, and then sellers than the last 12 months as well. And then, there's been more money flowing in than flowing out, which is always a good sign before, investing and while you're doing your research on a company. And the analysis for it, an outlook for it, right now it's at Stock Rover has this at a 20.39 discount. It's at, targeted to hit 255 here with the buy almost in the strong buy region. Tip Rank's got this at 12 ratings, 9 buy, 3 hold with a 14.61. Once again, 242, 82 target price range here for it with a high at 280. So as you guys can see, different sites give you different numbers. But this is always good to see that they're both saying, buy, and no one's really saying, hey, you shouldn't buy this at all. And it's always good to see some are saying just hold it if you are buying it now, or if you do have it, don't sell it at all. So it's good to see that, as like a speculator of a company that I may be investing in for this year. Next, I always like to pull up my the little calculator here for the inputs. So this is if you were to purchase 20 shares of AMT right now, and that would be a total of 42,200. And then for the next whatever years here, you invest only $150 a month into it, and at 2.95 yield, and it pays you 6.24, $6.24 per share annually. So if you were to do this 5 years, you will have a total of 13,000 invested. You have a total shares of 59 shares, and then your portfolio value will be at 20,000. Annual dividend will be at 613. But if you're looking down the line at 20 years, or 25 years, or if you're younger, in your, early 20s or late 20s, or even 18, 19 years old out there, if you're looking down here, just take a look at, the growth of this company here, just showing you what compounding annual growth, which is at 13.58%, which is solid, what it would do over time, in your portfolio. But I wanted to give you guys a thank you again and a happy new year. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to our channel, Investing on a 9 to 5 YouTube channel. And we will see you guys on the next video. We out.